having diabetes, it has definitely taught me to advocate for myself. Wow. Okay, so me being in the system and me being a foster youth, I have definitely had a lot of times where I've had to, attend appointments by myself. And of course, whether or not you had that support or not, you still have to make sure that, no matter who's on your side, you have to make sure that your health is always in good condition, because it's like, this is my life. My life depends on that, So there were times where I did not have, my workers to go to my appointments with me, or I even did share with them that my, they were like, okay, we're going to your appointments. The day the appointment comes, nobody's there, but it doesn't mean that the appointment still can't get done, because I have to do that, So no matter who is in my support system, it's like, I have to make sure that this gets done, because my life depends on it, I could be, I could miss 50 million appointments, I would be in the worst condition possible if they were not, if I depended on them to go to all of my appointments. So I think that, me being able to not, being able to know, like, okay, no matter what, I got to make sure, because, my life, the only one who's responsible for my life and my actions is me. So with that being said, it's like, okay, it's my duty to make sure that I show to my appointments, no matter who comes. It's my duty to make sure that I take my insulin, no matter who else reminds me or whatsoever. Like, it's my duty. Like, I have to step up. And this is the point where, it's like, okay, I am a foster kid, but, I have to have a real adult mentality. At one point, okay, I grew up in an abusive home, so I was being abused by my biological parents, which did lead me to run away, and that did lead me into the foster care system. So after that, I did at some point, suffer with mental health disorders, so like, depression and a lot of other things. Which led me to go, into mental health crisis. And at that point, a lot of people were like, okay, not only are you a teenager, type 1 diabetic, but you also have these mental health disorders. So it's like, okay, we don't want this kid, A lot of people don't want children who are teenagers in general. So with me, not only, just being a teenager, but me also having type 1 diabetic, which of course is a chronic disorder, But a lot of people think like, oh my God, I don't want to be responsible for any. And the first thing they think of is death, Every time they think of, like diabetes, the first thing they think of, oh my God, they can die. Oh my God. Right. But it's like, there's a lot of other things that come before that, So at that point I had struggled with homelessness for 3 years, and yeah, it was a lot. I always knew that I wanted to go to an HBCU. I knew that was where I belonged. I knew that I wanted to be with my people. I knew that HBCUs were very big on producing the most successful African Americans in any industry. So I knew that HBCUs was where I belonged. I always heard people, I always was really big into these college and conversations. Like, I'm a future thinker. So I've been thinking about college since I've been in middle school. They were like, oh, Destiny, get to high school first before you start thinking about college. I gotta think ahead. Like, I've always been that thinker. Like, okay, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z. So, I always knew that I wanted to go to an HBCU, and being as though that, being around my people and just being able to motivate other people who look like me, and being able to know that, okay, I can have an impact on somebody's life, So aside from that, specifically Spelman, okay, so when doing my research, it was between Spelman and Howard. Those are my top two, Then doing my research, I knew that Spelman was the number 1 HBCU. And so after that, I was like, okay. And with that being said, Spelman College is basically like the Harvard and the Yale for, Black women. I was just like, okay, I'm a Black woman. There's strong women. There's women who are leaders, very educated women. Spelman produces so many, women who are like me. But, I want to be able to go there and just, be a part of that illustrious history. I feel like I do a lot of giving back now. And even though these things might not be broadcasted in the media all the time, I feel like I don't do a lot of things for attention. I do things because that's genuinely where my heart holds. But I am in the process of filing for my 501c3, my nonprofit. And I am going to be basically in July of this year, I will be sparking a nonprofit organization that helps youth in foster care. It is going to be a 24-hour source, so that any given time, whether it's 2, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, if you need my help or you need my assistance, and you are in, who knows, you might need help with school, you might need help even with your mental health, if you might need sources, or your foster parent might be going crazy and you need to get out of there, or even if you are in a most dangerous situation and you don't know who else to call, I'm going to create the first 24-hour foster care service on deck all around the world. So I'm going to have different organizations in different stations in different states and cities. So I am proud to be able to do that. So I think that's my first step with giving back to the community, especially a community that I am a part of. And there's so much more to go. Two things. My first piece of advice would be, you are capable of anything you put your mind to. No matter who says you can do it, no matter who says you can't do it. If they support you, then they can just be a part of your journey. But anything you want to do, you can do it, as long as you are confident within yourself. Self-confidence is the best confidence. My second piece of advice is, okay, so for the diabetics out there, this is very, very important. You are your biggest advocate. You create your own story. You are your own writer. So with that being said, you can create your own narrative. As long as you keep a positive mindset, your story will follow.